Yo.
Here we are. Did you get it figured out?
Oh man, if people only knew the amount of panic I have been in the last 5 minutes.
I could see it on your face. It was great.
Yeah, tonight's
Well,
gonna be good.
hit me with a little intro.
Little intro.
The new board.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another episode of To the Top Talk, live episode brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar. To the Top Talk is the original and longest running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this live episode on PLo
April the 29th.
from beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Here, as always, with your break from the High Resource 5 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, Jason Bailey. Joining me now, the one and only Patrick Lowry.
What's up, brother?
Well, we finally got the thing, right? So,
yes, trial by fire tonight for sure.
So if you're online right now, thank you for joining us and just bear with us through this first episode. What we think is going to happen is we're going to have a way to call in. You're still going to be able to write a message in through Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. But the call-in portion should be up and running. Just,
Fingers crossed.
yeah, keep your fingers crossed. And just so you know, like, we're going to let everybody say something if you want to say something. Just, you do take the risk of getting run, right? Don't be an
That's
idiot.
right. I can
But
drop the man hammer on you.
but yeah, so this should be fun, and it should be the first episode. We're learning at the same time as you guys, so we're going to run this show just kind of like we do every other episode, and if we get a call-in portion going, then we'll get that part of it going. But tonight's episode is, of course, brought to you by Mugshots in Hattiesburg, the South's premier sports grill and bar. And it all started right here in Hattiesburg 20 years ago. At Mugshots, they are always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily. And with 18 specialty burgers, they've got you covered. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. So what happened since the last time we recorded? And you guys can use any of these topics to chime in on what you think. But we first of all, we kind of took a week off last week. The Lowry family had some personal things going on, right? So and we were trying to get this board, and we got it, and then we're trying to figure it all out. And when I say we, Patrick was trying to do all that, and we finally did it. We think so. So we had that going on. So we kind of took a week off, but we'll probably do two of them this week. Maybe another live after one of the games or after the series. We haven't decided yet. The NFL draft came and went. A handful of Southern Miss guys getting a shot at the dream.
Yeah.
Hey, sound effects.
There we go.
There we are. Jump on in there. Baseball and softball were back in action, of course. I know we're going to talk about those two sports in particular and how the series played out for the ladies and for the men. The men, of course, had that huge series at Louisiana Lafayette. We also learned of some new basketball signees for Coach Ladner and the basketball team. And, it seems I can't imagine it actually going down, but apparently, as first reported by Hattiesburg American beat writer Sam Sklar, we are going to have a press conference for Reed Green Coliseum. The vision for the future of Reed Green Coliseum. Supposed to take place on Wednesday. So that's going to be amazing. And PLo, before we get into the hot topics and the baseball and the softball and all that, if you want to do a better job of explaining how to participate tonight, if you can.
I am currently still trying to figure that out. So this may not work the way I'm wanting it to work. I mean, in theory, you were going to be able to request to join us on the Twitter space. Because we're live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. Twitter, or X as you call it, is the place where I'm trying to get you guys on here. Have everything connected, but I am trying to figure that out. I'm trying to pull it up. I can pull up the stream, but I can't see where I can add people or people can request to join us. So I'm currently trying to figure that out.
Okay. Well, we'll just start off with a couple of the hot topics. Feel free to chime in however you can, hopefully live and with your voice. Baseball, PLo. I mean, where are we at, right? I mean, like, what do we have left to do? Do we?
That's where
That's
we
our
are.
that's our baseball noise. Okay. But I mean, do we have the horses this year to make a run at this thing? How are we feeling about how the year has gone? Your thoughts on Oz? We've talked before about the amount of starters, having to replace 7 starters in the lineup, right? Having to replace arguably the best pitcher in the history of Southern Miss. You can at
Right.
least make the argument for Tanner Hall, right? I know we've had a lot of
Mhm.
good ones, but you could at least make the argument that he's probably, I don't think there's any doubt he was top 5 of all time. So that's a lot to replace. And in my opinion, having to do all of that and still having an outside shot at the title this late in the season is a pretty good thing. And I would consider that
Right.
probably our floor, right? So
Mhm.
if this is the floor, I think it's good. If we do this for 3 more years in a row, that's a different story. But how do you feel about it?
I mean, it's definitely disappointing. I just think it kind of shows uh, kind of the heater that we've been on. I mean, gosh, 2 back to back super regionals hosting, um, and 740 win seasons in a row, and it's I don't know. I mean, we talked about last week and the week before, it's one of those things where we replaced a lot of people, and I'm not here to make excuses. Like, I know we have to win, and we've had a lot of injuries, and the list goes on and on and on. But I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. Like, again, I think, and I said this pretty early this season, like, you really don't really know what you're gonna get. Um, what you're gonna get kind of as with this team. You're gonna get a team that's gonna crank out a lot of hits and some runs, and then you're gonna get a team that struggles at the plate. And then the same with the pitching. You're going to get a guy that comes in and kind of dominates the game. And I don't know. It just seems like we can't get out of our own way this season.
Well,
I
speaking
feel
of the
like.
pitching, we have as far that's what we talked about at the beginning of the year. That's kind of what Oz is going to put if he's going to have a fingerprint on this team, it's always going to be on the pitching staff. And to this point, I don't know if it's even fair to judge how that went down since there's been so many injuries, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think in totality, the year's just been a little bit of a disappointment. Not that the year's over by any means. You can still get hot. We've seen teams do it in the past. We saw Ole Miss do it, right? Probably shouldn't. They squeaked into the tournament and just got red hot.
Right.
Does this team have that ability? Maybe, probably. Sure, there was a bunch of people that year for that team that wanted their coach fired, right? And they go on the magical run and win the whole damn thing. So not over by any means. It's also totally okay to be disappointed. I think if you're a Southern Miss fan at this point, and like you said, it has been different things. It's been the pitching this week. It's been the hitting the next week. It's been injuries to players on the field. It's been injuries to the bullpen. It's you pick a reason, and we have figured out a way to do that the entire season.
Yeah.
But so anyway, and we're gonna get to what baseball did last week. But another hot topic that I want to present: the Reed Green Coliseum renovations. What do we expect?
Mm-hmm.
What's that presser going to be like? Can you imagine? What's it going to be like to walk into Reed Green and everything to be new? Right at this point, it's been so long, and the jokes have gotten old. I don't even worry about the jokes anymore. People are like, "Hey, Reed Green's a dump." I'm like, well. Okay,
we know.
Whatever. I don't think we've ever said that it wasn't.
Right.
When it's packed, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. When it's not, it just looks really old because it is really old. So, what's it going to be like though? Like, can you imagine going in an actual front door? We try to get around to our seats over in section G. It looks completely different. I mean, I don't know. Chairbacks everywhere. We're thinking that's going to be a thing. The ribbons running all the way around, a new concession. Are they getting rid of the the green and white tile in the bathrooms. You know, pick a spot in Reed Green
Some
Coliseum, and
dividers
you
between
can
the urinals or something, maybe.
yeah, that is an awkward situation, especially when you go in
Yeah.
there like with your 7-year-old. I'm like, I don't just
Yep.
do what you got to do, bro.
Yeah, we have lots of comments rolling in,
You
and we're,
can
we're gonna get to you. I can throw some up on the stream, and again, like I'm actively participating and still doing some research. Like we literally just got this thing,
I
and
got you.
just from a technical standpoint, I was glad to at least be up and you can hear me. So we're getting there.
Okay, good deal. You want to throw some comments up, or you want me to
Yeah,
do it?
yeah. If you want to,
Okay, I'll go back to the beginning. So just to get, I see Mustard Buzzard Bleacher Creatures coming in. If y'all are taking requests for hold music, yeah, okay, that was a while ago, so we'll just skip that one. Dig deep, fellas, I believe in you. Thank you very much, James Johnson.
has something he wants to
James
say.
Johnson. He has something he wants to say. If when he does, I hope you don't have
Yep.
anything to do for like a minute and a half at least, because it's going to take a little while. James
Yes.
Johnson. I think I do a pretty
Oh,
good
that was
James
pretty
Johnson.
good.
I think it
Wow.
was. I didn't know
That
until
was
it came out of my
really
mouth.
good.
I'd never heard from James in a while. The next nugget. Are y'all glad you weren't the first to report yesterday's loss? That's good.
That's great.
I see you working, Nugget. I see you working. James Johnson is back in. How can I say something? This is okay. James,
We're
pay
trying.
attention. Pay attention, James. My mom. Hi, Mom. How are you? James, give me a break. Ben Luther. What is up, Mr. Bailey? Ben Luther from up in North Mississippi. Mississippi State fan. But Ben has been to Southern Miss games with me before. Namely, the
Yeah.
97 Liberty Bowl. I didn't know him at that point, but I know he was there. I know he's in the end zone. I know what he was doing. Not going to talk about that, though. Mustard Buzzard Bleacher Creature is back in. Jay has let loose that it's going to be a glass entrance. Okay. Well, I think the point is there's going to be an entrance. To this point, those who haven't come to Reed Green, Ben Luther, one of you, speaking of you, Reed Green right now doesn't have a front door. That's right. We have a basketball arena. When you pull up from another team, I'm not sure what you think. Like, do I go in that door or that door or that door or that door? And why are they all maroon or red, whatever that color is? None of it makes sense. It all goes back to the 70s. James, you can probably speak to that. I think James was in his 40s in the 70s. How are we looking,
Yeah, I
PLo?
think we're really close. We're really close. I think I'm figuring it
Okay.
out here. So I'm about to create the space, and I think with that you'll be able to join. Uh, I'm not sure. We're just gonna keep it rolling.
Okay, no problem. So baseball, let's go ahead and get into baseball. If you figure it
Yeah.
out along the way, then we'll click that in. But baseball sitting at 27-17, 12-9, 8 games in a row versus teams out of the state of Louisiana. That's kind of interesting. So going way back, we beat Nichols at the Pete 9-6. Had a 3-game set with Louisiana Monroe at the Pete. Won that series 2-1. Kind of blew the sweep. It seems to be a trend this year. We continue to have that phobia of sweeping somebody. Just absolutely rolled in the first 2 games, right? Won both of those games by run rules, then lost the Sunday game 5-1. Continued to Louisiana swing, played Tulane in New Orleans and won that game 11-6. Probably feeling pretty good about ourselves heading into the game with Louisiana in the city of Lafayette. And, started off that game great, right? Up 2-0 thanks to a Slade Wilkes first inning bomb. And we were winning through 7 innings. We basically won like 90% of the game. Then the Raging Cajuns, this guy named DeBarge, he's becoming the Danny Lynch for them, I think. He hits a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th. We lose the opener 3-2. But there were some serious bright spots, namely being Billy Oldham. He got the Friday start. He was incredible. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 10 Ks. And when he came out, there were 2 runners on, and Sibley gave up the home run to DeBarge. But the only thing you can really, looking back, and you can always look back after a loss and pick apart everything. You can always do that. So if your Oz in that moment, PLo, and I know you're over there working the ones and twos and trying to get this thing rolling, but if your Oz in that moment, do you regret either not letting Billy finish that inning after the 2 runners got on, or do you regret possibly going with Sibley to begin the inning clean?
Oh gosh.
I'm not trying to question. This is just I mean, Oz knows way more baseball than you and I will, right? But we're
Oh yeah,
fans.
of course.
We can look back. We can say, hey, and to be honest, there was runners on second and third in that situation when the home run was given up. So at that point, how do you throw to him at all, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
man, I don't know.
yeah. But basically, that's what happened, and we end up losing that game. Sibley takes the loss; he goes to 2-4 on the season. And hitting wise, there was just 3 hits for Southern Miss on the day. Andrew Herman for Lafayette really shut the Golden Eagles down, a lot like Oldham did. It was a big boy baseball game.
Mhm.
It was a high class baseball game. It looked like 2 teams that probably should have been ranked in the top 25. McIntyre got 1 hit for us. Wilkes got a hit, that home run we talked about. Broadus went 1 for 3. And yeah, at the end of it, look, we just lost the game in the end. They had 1 swing. We had 1 swing. Their 1 swing was worth like just 1 more than ours was. So a good baseball game, good atmosphere. The Teague looked great. If a bunch of USM fans went, they would pan up from time to time. I don't know. There's 50, 100 somewhere, just from what I could see on the TV. I know a lot of people that went. So it looked like a very fun time. Some of the Cajun tents that had set up for tailgating were very creative with their Southern Miss decor. You saw the one flag that was upside down and it said SMTTB.
Right.
And like a backwards
Yeah.
or an upside down logo or something. Do what you got to do. I was fine with it. So lost that first game. Before we get into game 2, do you want to catch us up on a few of the comments coming in? Or do we have or do we have an update on the call-in segment yet?
Yeah, I think we have James Johnson on. I think I'm gonna try to make this work. This is scary. I guess
Out of all the people in the world that could be the first caller to the show, it's James.
Yeah.
Which I'm not positive is a real person.
I don't know. We're about to find out.
Okay, James. Is James on?
He is a listener right now. I have invited him to speak, so we shall see. Boy, this is great.
Okay, well, while James is coming on, we'll get caught up with
I'll
more.
interrupt you whenever this happens. Or he may interrupt us.
Okay. There's James right there. Jared, I'm sorry I'm on my dementia medication. I don't doubt that one bit. Right field Rugrats. Rumors are Reed Green Coliseum press conferences to announce a new Dickert Dome for USM Esports. Sweet. I guess I'm smart enough to figure that one out. Thomas Hinkle. Let's just skip that one. Ben Luther. 97 Liberty Bowl, USM 41 Pitts. See? Mississippi State guy. Knows his USM sports. If there's a game from Southern Miss in the last however many years ago that was 30, is it 30 years ago? 26 years ago?
Right. That's
the one you want to remember. It's that one in the TCU game that even other people can know about without having to be like a massive fan. Mustard, Buzzard, Bleacher, Creature. He should have gone with someone, the different arsenal. Middleton Best is who I would have gone with. So I guess he's talking about after Oldham came out. So should have gone with Middleton or Best. I guess you could make that point. I guess my whole deal was, I don't know that if I don't mind Sibley coming in. I just wish it would have been a clean inning. And I don't really mind Oldham finishing that inning. Unless, I mean, we don't know. He might have said, Coach, I'm good. I'm done. You know, I threw my last pitch. We have no idea. And Middleton, boy, talk about electric stuff. Just cannot figure it out. A lot like Tyler Stewart a few years ago, right? Couldn't figure out how anybody ever barreled up anything. And now you see what he's doing. So let's just let Oz work his magic, you know, and Middleton will be that guy. He's got the stuff. And Chandler Best, of course, yeah. Boy, is that a guy that you look at for starting on Sundays moving forward?
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's back. He inched his way along. I think he's back. Ball's really come out of his hand fast. Mustard, buzzard, bleacher, creature. James is my grandfather. James says, "Can I speak?" Yes.
Yeah, like
it's not a fax machine, old man.
It seems
Figure
to
it
be
out.
that he's muted, so he's gonna have to unmute if he wants to speak.
Oh my goodness!
There we go.
Lord, here he is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I can barely hear him, PLo.
Everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. Good. I had a question for you and Jerry. Okay, so I made my way over to Lafayette, Louisiana to watch the Cajuns and the Eagles play baseball. And I had a question for you. This man, DeBarge, Kyle DeBarge, he hits balls over barges over the Mississippi River. We saw it. Everybody saw it. And we still pitch to the man. Tell me, Jared and Mac, would you have done anything differently? Please tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first. Yeah, I think I would have. Well, the first time he came up, right, on Friday night, wasn't first and second open. I mean, it's easy
First was open. It was running on second and third.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to look back and be like, yeah, you should have walked him because he hit a bomb. But like, that makes me think about like Wallner. If we were playing somebody and you have Wallner up,
he gets put on 1,000% of the time.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: if you flip the situation and you look back to the last, if you're the Raging Cajuns.
For the life of me, I couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything like it. You know, as you listeners know, I'm 79 years old, and I just couldn't believe it. I've never seen anything in all of my years. You know, I've been a season ticket holder since '84.
Was 84 at the new park, or was 84 at the old park?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I just couldn't hear nothing.
Turn it up, James. The hearing aid.
So that was my question.
All right.
Continue with the show. I see you got others speaking.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you,
no, I mean,
Jared.
all right, James. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for nothing, James. Appreciate that. So, but the DeBarge thing, yeah. I mean, we're going to go through all these games. You know, he did it all weekend long, and it reminds me of last year or the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years with Danny Lynch. You know, doing the same exact thing to Lafayette. Hit the 2 grannies in like one game, right?
Right.
I bet after that game, Raging Review was flooded with comments like, "How the hell are you throwing to this guy?" So, DeBarge, he's that dude. He's a good player, and I like watching him play. You know, I hope that I don't ever have to watch him play against us again, but he's a good player. Game 2, we won this game 3-2. So we lost the first game 3-2, won this game 3-2. The second game was almost a carbon copy of the first game, but the Eagles were actually able to finish it. DeBarge damn near did it to us again. But hitting wise, we scored 1 in the second with a Monastir triple, who that guy's just turned his season around completely. Wish he'd get on the mound some, but whatever. We scored 1 in the third on a Wilkes single. Then DeBarge singles in 2 in the top of the 8th to tie it up. So we're up 2-0. Then DeBarge comes up, And everybody in the world must be thinking to themselves, oh my God, not this guy again, right? We're going to do it again.
All
We're
right.
going to lose this game again.
Mhm.
And then Gabe brought us, got to get up for Gabe.
Yeah.
Came through with the game winner in the ninth. 8. There we go. Very nice. 8 hits for Southern Miss compared to just 3 hits the day before. Gillespie goes 2 for 4. Monastery 2 for 4 with a double and a triple. Really had a good look at the cycle at that point. If you get the double and the triple out of the way early, right? There's a single and a bomb away from it. So Mazza started, shoved, looked great. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Looked in command all night long. All those walks seem to be gone. Colby Allen credited with the W. He's now 5-2 on the season. He goes the final 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, and 3 Ks. So now we're sitting at 1-1. Very easily it could be 2-0. Very easily could be 0-2 if you look at it that way, right?
Our Twitter space is starting to fill up with some Raging Review folks. So
Good.
And I don't know. Y'all have to let us know. I didn't realize there was a difference between the live and the Twitter space. Apparently, that's 2 different things. So the people that are just chilling in the Twitter space, I don't know if they can hear us. I have no idea. If you're in both or you're bouncing between, let us know in the chat. Because again, like as we said at the beginning, we are learning as we're going. So
If James can get through, and I couldn't hear James
somebody
that
wants
well.
to join. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah. Well,
I heard a ding. What was that somebody else saying?
Yeah, I haven't had anybody else request. I've had people pop in and out, but again, like I do not know if they can hear us.
Reagan Grant chimed in. You can tell that Ben is an old school State fan because he isn't as arrogant. He isn't an arrogant dork towards USM. It's true. Here's the deal with Ole Miss and State fans. The ones that are the most annoying is whichever team's doing better that year.
Yeah.
And probably us too. Probably anybody. If you're in Texas, I bet you're saying that about the University of Texas. You'd be like, man, A&M's kind of cool this year. A&M sucks, right? I think that's just how it works. Your next door neighbors make the most noise.
Yeah, if somebody wants to join and has something to say, hit me up on the space and we'll throw you in. And again, like I know it's not perfect. We're working it out.
Deshaun, the Daw, as we call him, chimed in with what he thinks about DeBarge. Walk him if we see him in a tournament. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Is he more of a Danny Lynch or a Dickerson? Either way, probably walking him. Right?
Yeah,
he's a good player. Great player. Mustard buzzard bleacher creature. Get them, Grandpa. I guess he's referring to James. The cochlear implant. Okay. Hinkle, whatever. Yeah, okay, so right field Rugrats is chimed. So can only hear video live, not audio space.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how the space would be connected to this, but there's still people chilling in it. Yeah, we're gonna have to get with some of the Rage Review guys and see how they do this because I'm missing a step.
Apparently. Okay, well, we'll get there. I don't know how James got through, but it was kind of there. I could hear him in the background.
Yeah,
we'll keep working on it. I'm gonna start. So we'll get through this series. We'll talk about softball, and maybe by then we can figure it out. But so that takes us to Game 3 versus Louisiana in Lafayette. Mm-hmm. Lost this game 13-7. Lost the series. Like we mentioned before, we were kind of one swing away from winning the series, and also one swing away from getting swept. So did come out of there with a win. I mean, they're a good team. They played better than we did. And all that being said, still possibly could have come out there with 2 wins. Gave up 2 runs in the first off a DeBarge homer, shocker. Mm-hmm. Then we tied it up in the second. Looks like we were coming back, had a little fight. Then DeBarge knocks in another one in the third, and ULL goes on to score 6 in that inning. Southern Miss did scratch 1 in the 5th, 6th, and 8th, and got 2 in the 9th. Also gave up 3 more in the 7th. Game over. Interesting starting situation here. So Sibley starts the game, goes 2 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 0 walks, 1 K. We've tried this before, and that's what we got out of Sibley in the beginning. I love him. Just in that first in relief. I just think that's his thing,
Yep.
And he just never looked comfortable in this game to me. Middleton came in throwing laser beams, but he didn't have it either. He only got 1 out, gave up 5 runs. Then Chandler Best, we talked about him. He threw an inning in the 3rd, gave up 2. Josh Ock. Who knows why we hadn't seen more out of Josh Ock this year, but he goes an inning in 2/3. Looks great, I thought. 2 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Chase Adams gives up 3 in just 2/3 of an innings pitched. Then Boswell and Meeks finished it out. They were relatively clean over those last couple innings. Hitting wise, we didn't look bad. 14 hits on the day, so that's a positive. Right. If you're looking for a positive in a game where you kind of got run out the door. DMAC 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. Pratt 2 for 5 with a double. Pato 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 1 RBI. Russo 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. If I just gave you that series of stats before the game started, I think you would say, okay, well, we probably did okay, right? And it really wasn't the case. Seth Smith did come in to pinch hit. He stayed in at third base. He went 2 for 2. That's another positive. And that concludes the series, PLo. You can say, well, we lost 2 out of 3, or you can be like, hey, man, we got one, And
Right.
and Louisiana's super tough this year. And we were at their place, and they have a fantastic environment, just like we do at the Pete. And that's what good teams are supposed to do, I think. So we had a shot. We gave it our best shot. Had 2 fantastic pitching efforts on Friday and Saturday, and then just literally ran out of gas on Sunday. But that being said, as you throw your headset back on,
I'm with you.
okay. What'd you think? What'd you think about the series? Right? I mean, could have won it, could have got swept. Had some bright spots.
Yeah, I mean, 2 really good outings. I don't know this year how many times we've had like 2 back-to-back, like really good outings. It seems like it's been kind of a roller coaster, right? Like 2 quality starts. Unfortunately, we lose obviously Friday night and kind of have a bad taste in our mouth. We win Saturday, and then Sunday's just, I don't really want to talk about it. So
I was so glad that I had a 7 and 8-year-old Dixie Youth baseball practice scheduled for 3:00 on Sunday, because around that time, I wasn't real interested in the baseball game anymore. Right. It was perfect weather outside. So, third starter looks like it's going to be an issue. We were wondering about it at the beginning of the year. Armistead stepped in there, and I thought he looked fine. He was obviously having some trouble with his elbow the entire season, and now, he's probably done, forever, right. I think. So you lose a guy like that, and So what should we do? What should we do there? If anybody wants to chime in on the starter for Sunday situation, does it sound crazy? Does it sound crazy to start Middleton? If he doesn't have it, it's an early hook, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe he gets in there and he's like, you know what? I don't have to throw 1,000 miles per hour. I can throw my B game and just let the ball move and get a whole bunch of outs. If he doesn't have it, get him out of there quick. Another guy who I would look at is Chandler Best. We've talked about him. I think he's got to get a look at some point. And then Josh Hawk. I'm not positive what else he's got to do, unless he just has zero endurance whatsoever. The guy, he's not afraid of the moment, and he's looked good every single time he's touched the baseball. There's probably a pitch count or something else that I'm not aware of, but you've got to find something. You still got Nicky Ball game out there. I know that when you throw Nick, that it's going to throw a wrinkle into what do you do with Slade? Slade's going to have to hit because you can't have a DH. You're not going to throw Nick and not bat him. So then do you DH for somebody like the second baseman, right? Do you DH for Broadus over at third? I wouldn't want to do that. So I think Slade would have to play if Nick threw. Is Nick even throwing bullpens anymore? I don't know. But what we can all agree on is that Sunday is a problem. And if Sunday is a problem, then all of a sudden you're looking at that's just game 3 in a tournament situation. So if you mess around and you win a game or two, what do you do? We're at the end of the year, and I don't know. That's a problem. I mean, do you have any? What would you do?
Yeah,
Or
I don't know.
are you in the middle of fixing our situation, and I just need to keep rolling?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Gosh, just take one game at a time. I don't know. Yeah, I'm no help tonight, which is unfortunate.
Okay. Well, James is gone. This was fun, fellas. I have to go take my Ambien and watch my bird documentary. Sounds good times. Good times, James. And Hinkle, I don't believe you.
He was just determined to get a comment posted
Hinkle.
up there.
Yeah.
He's strategic.
It's a thing. It's a thing with us and Hinkle. It just is. Good fan. Great fan. We have differing opinions. That's good. It's good. It's good to not always agree with people. But anyway, I do agree that we have the best USM podcast. There we go.
I agree.
Next up for the baseball team, midweek versus UNO at the Pete on Tuesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. That's tomorrow night. I will not be in attendance. I will be coaching the Mugshots Dixie Youth baseball team. All right. So we won 2 in a row. We lost 3 in a row, and we've won 2 in a row again. So we're back on a winning streak. Hopefully, have 2 more this week. That will be 4 in a row. Can't put the cart before the horse, but both teams we're playing this week, we've already beat this year. So hopefully, we'll continue our winning ways. Are you going to the Pete tomorrow night?
Yeah. The weather seems to be cleared. It's supposed to be like rainy all week. It looks like it's supposed to be clearing up. I think it's gonna be nice.
Cool. Then Coastal Carolina comes to the Pete for a 3-game Sun Belt Conference set. They just got swept by Troy, so they're bent. They're pissed. Hopefully they're just laying down and tucking their tails, but I'm guessing that they're not. It's another high-class program in the Sun Belt, and they're going to come in here. And what are we feeling like right now?
Yeah,
got 1 out of 3 this weekend, but got drummed on Sunday. Didn't give up by any means, but clearly don't have an answer for anything on Sunday. So you got to have. Do you want the? Let me ask you this: do you want the wind to be blowing out on Sunday, where we have to win a 15-14 game? Or would you want some other scenario where we can possibly, eke one out, like bad weather or something? I don't know. Not sure what I'm even hoping for as a Southern Miss fan. I guess the wind to be blowing out just so I can see a bunch of homers.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everybody just wants to see offense. I don't care if we win 14-13. I just want to win, and offense in the Pete is always a good time.
We're going to get to the Sun Belt Conference standings in just a second, but you're going to see both teams this weekend, Coastal and Southern Miss, really need to have a series win. Kind of the seasons for both teams, I think, kind of hinges on this series in particular, at least getting a win in the series, so winning 2 of the games. And a sweep might even be necessary at this point. It's hard for me to imagine Coastal Carolina getting swept 2 weekends in a row. I hope it happens. But, I have a lot of respect for that program. And, again, just like last weekend was big boy baseball, this weekend is going to be big boy baseball. And we're all trying to catch the Raging Cajuns atop the Sun Belt Conference standing. So let's look at those real quick. So Louisiana is sitting at 17-4, 33-13 overall. Second place in the Sun Belt is Troy at 14-7. Southern Miss and Georgia Southern both at 12-9. App State at 11-9-1. Is that possible? They have a 1? Interesting.
No idea.
It must have been a light situation, I guess. Anyway, 11-9-1 for App State. Coastal Carolina, James Madison, and Old Dominion all sitting at 11-10. South Owl, Georgia State at 10-11. Texas State at 8-13. ULM 7-14. Arkansas State 6-14-1. So it was against them. and Marshall at 6-15. It kind of surprised me about Marshall. We played them early in the season. I thought Marshall was going
Right.
to turn out a little better than they've had. I haven't kept up with them. Maybe they've had a rash of injuries like the Golden Eagles have. I'm not sure. So if we look at what Southern Miss has to do the rest of the way, well, right now we're already in that top four, which as far as the bye goes in the conference tournament, you got to stay in that top four. But at 12-9, let's just say you can pull out 2 this weekend, so that would put you at 14-10. So 14-10,
Right.
Troy's at 14-7. So they would have to get swept. So you're still, boy, yeah, we really have to go on a run at this point. If you're looking at having an outside shot and hopefully, kind of hope for a collapse from 2 of the best teams in the league, which probably isn't going to happen. But still at this point, like we talked about earlier, replacing just about everybody, every single player on the infield, Tanner Hall, really not getting any, a whole lot out of some of the replacements. So it's not a terrible place to be. I don't think, it's hard for Southern Miss fans to wrap our head around it. I think when we're used to super regionals, right? We're used to not being able to get tickets of any sort because everything's sold out, and it's all good problems to have. But all that being said, if this is the floor, and I'm looking at these standings, we're sitting there in 3rd place. I mean, come on, guys, we're okay. The program's in decent shape, I would say. Okay, back to the comments over here. Have you figured out anything, PLo?
Yeah. Man, shout out to Rage and Review. They have been DMing.
Those guys
us
are the best.
through- They literally are the best.
And thanks for everybody for staying on with us. We're I feel like we're inches away from this thing working.
We are. If I can figure out how to turn off this. You hear that music? It's lovely.
I can't.
I can't figure out how to turn it off.
I dig it. Keep it rocking.
This is
Beer
amazing.
Hose Boys tied in a getaway day Sunday game, went deep in extras, I believe. Yes. Yeah. Oh, so maybe it didn't have anything to do with daylight or weather or anything like that. It was just getaway day. And they're like, they're like, are you good? Are you good? All right, we're good. And they did. That was it.
It literally Rage and Reviews DMing me as this is going. So thank you.
I
Guys.
see them popping up, and I'm
Okay.
just letting you handle
Yeah,
it.
it's wonderful. Okay, so if you want to join us live, join our space and just request to go live with us, and you should work.
Join the Twitter space or X space.
Yeah,
whatever.
Twitter space. Yes, yeah, and you should be able to hear us on this live, in theory. So if you have a question, yeah.
All right. Well, somebody be brave enough to try that out, even if you're just doing us a solid at this point. We need to figure it out. So go ahead and somebody chime in. The Daw, love to hear from the Daw. Been trying to get the Daw to come hang out in the Roost and swing by the tailgate for, I don't know, the last several years. Ghost me every time. While we are trying to get some comments on that, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on our Sunday situation, on the DeBarge situation. Do you ever throw that guy a fastball ever again? And everything that goes along with that.
Yeah, let's see if we can get the Rage and Review guys on here. That would be cool. I'm down with it.
Oh, yeah. They could talk you through it
on the
in front of everybody.
No, I think that they're doing a great job.
Okay.
I just need some.
Well, while we're still working on that, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of softball. Softball sitting at 21-26. Another thing that Louisiana is fantastic at. If it's played on a diamond, they're pretty damn good. So, but our softball team lost a midweek to Ole Miss last Tuesday, April 23rd, 7-3. Played the weekend versus Texas State, who was ranked, or I guess is ranked, and they're really good. And managed to win the first game, then lost the final two, but really had a shot at all of them. Had a legitimate shot to sweep a ranked team. Our softball program, right? That's surprising to anyone else. It was a good weekend for the ladies. Game 1 versus Texas State won this one 9-3. That had to be super exciting for
Yep.
Coach Poole and everybody. Limited Texas State to just 4 hits and used 3 Lady Bobcat errors en route to the Sun Belt Conference win. Pitching wise, Holly Kraft went the distance, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 5 Ks. Probably need to cut down on those 5 walks, but you know what? Went the distance and got it done against a ranked opponent. Hitting wise, Hannah Borden hit a homer. Stop me if you've heard that before. She keeps extending her
shocker.
all-time home run record. Gordon hit a double. She goes 2 for 4, 2 runs. Maddie Weeks 2 for 3, 1 run, 2 RBIs with a double. So off to a great start for the Lady Eagle softball team, winning that first game over Texas State, and it takes us to game 2. Lost this one, but just lost 2-1. I mentioned that we had a shot to win all of these, and we really did. Only lost this game 2-1. And it doesn't really matter because after an App State loss to Marshall, Southern Miss have
Jeff.
Southern Miss, the softball team has clinched a postseason berth. That's the second year in a row. So that's good. On the day, both teams with 9 hits on the day. Only one Lady Eagle with multiple hits, Shelby Allen. She goes 2 for 3. There's no score through 4 innings. Then both teams scored 1 in the 5th. And Texas State just scored 1 more in the 6th. And that was it. Right. There wasn't a whole lot of scoring. So very well played game on both sides. And the team that's probably just a little bit more established came away with the W. But it's nice to know, if you think back to a month or a half ago or something like that, the Lady Eagles probably wouldn't have done as good, I think. So
let's try this real quick. I think we got the Rage Review guys on, maybe.
PLo.
Hey, there we go. Can y'all hear that, Jason?
we can hear. I can hear.
Excellent.
Okay, so we have audio. So who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Josh. We're going to try to record tonight. Actually, your boy just took up a woodworking class, so I was going to be out of pocket for the rest of the week, but we let out early for the first day. So I was able to be back in the studio. I saw you guys were about to go live. I wanted to see what the Southern Miss reaction was. But listen, I'm glad you guys have the space figured out, because we learned probably 3 years ago that some of the best content we've ever put out is fan reaction, just pure, emotionally charged, emotions running high after games. So I think you'll find this tool for the pod pretty useful.
Well, no, I mean, we all remember was it the football game? Is that right, Jason?
The whole reason we're trying this is because of you guys. We completely stole your idea. And you guys have been great with explaining to us how to do it.
It's just just taking us this long to get there.
The deal was, the thing that sold me really was the Southern Miss fans that had infiltrated the post game after the midweek football game where Frank Gore just went off.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And I remember one caller, something along the lines of, hey, great show. This is Steve from Shreveport. So I just want to tell you guys what a great job you're doing, and also, why is Southern Miss your daddy or something? And you guys rolled with it and let it go for a little bit. So it was super fun. I hope that we can do a decent job once we get this thing rolling, but really appreciate all the help you've given us, getting this far.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once you get the kinks out and you get comfortable with it, it's really easy to do. We have a lot of fun with it. I'm like I said, post games are my I know it's a football thing and we're baseball fans at heart, but as far as football season goes, it's my favorite thing to do. But there's a lot to talk about, even with a baseball series like we just watched. I mean, you guys have a passionate baseball fan base, so
right.
I know you get plenty of calls. I would encourage you to maybe tweet it out, let everybody know that it's working now, so maybe you can get some people back. I know we had some people in the space and they kind of left, but man, I got to say one thing, and I'll let you guys get back to your show, and I have some other things I have to do. But, what was going on in the dugout with Coach Oz pitching the DeBarge? I mean, that's got to be one of the most bizarre, dare I say, arrogant piece of coaching I've seen in a very long time. I mean, the kid literally takes a game away from you on Friday. Mm-hmm. He ties the game in the 8th again on Saturday, and you still pitch to him on Sunday? It's a bad look.
I don't know. It's Danny Lynch in reverse, right? It's I think you guys, we hit on this at the beginning of the show, but I what you're saying right now had to have been in reverse form between you guys talking about pitching to Danny when he hit the 2 grand slams, right? I don't know.
Sure.
I can't figure it out.
Absolutely.
And hey, man, DeBarge is a dude. He's the kind of guy. He reminds me a little bit of a Dustin Dickerson for us from the last few years. Just a guy that you'd love to have on your side. And I like watching him play. And I hope I never get to see him swing a bat ever again. But I love watching him play.
What made the series so great was that the stars shined. I mean, Max showed up, Debo showed up. You saw great pitching on Friday and Saturday.
Sure.
It was that formula we always talk about on the show: pitch to win Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday run day. You saw a little bit of that, and I
Yeah,
credit the
love
Golden
that.
Eagles for fighting back from being down 8 early. Just kept nickel and diming. I know that we kind of extended the lead. It's always going to be hard to overcome a grand slam like that, and then we get longer as the weekend series goes on. And what I mean by that is the lineup seems to start to click on Sundays, and we typically score on Sundays. So I felt like we had the advantage going into Sunday, especially you guys struggle on Sunday throughout the year. But I did make a comment to the guys. I said, it would be good if we can just put these guys down and we can move on with our day, because it started feeling like y'all were kind of pulling yourselves back into that game. So, my Cajun disaster syndrome started to kick in there, and I didn't know what to expect. But overall, I just thought it was a great series between 2 really good Sun Belt teams, and our fan bases did what they always do. I don't know. I have been looking forward to this weekend all season long, and it delivered. It just did.
Yeah, no, I thought it was big boy baseball, and I thought that you guys have a fantastic environment over at the T, just like we have at the Pete. And when you're playing at home, and you're probably got a little bit more depth and a little bit more just returning players, I thought if you guys wouldn't have won 2 out of 3, I think it would have been worse for you. Honestly, I mean, we won one of the games. And I look at one as kind of a positive, and we're just one swing away from winning 2. When you guys probably just are clearly the better team this year, in my opinion. So not that we can't beat you, but I just feel that's how it is so far. So
I think both teams can walk away from the weekend thinking there was a lot of positive there. We could have won the series. We could have lost the series. I think it's a positive net on both sides. But look, I'm gonna let you guys get back to it. I'm glad you figured it out. Look forward to seeing you in the tournament, and next year we'll try to return the trip.
Awesome. I
Thanks,
appreciate
buddy.
the help.
Take it easy.
All right, boys.
That was great. That was great. So
yeah, so I was really trying to overcomplicate things, and he just simplified it. So,
well, speaking of not overcomplicating things, we have a comment from Jeff Russo. There's free beer in the Russo is better than $2 Natty Lights. So there were $2 Natty Lights at the Teague, is what we're saying there.
Interesting.
Well, I'll take a $2 Natty Light. I'm not gonna shy away from that at all.
You've never turned away a $2 beer. The
beer prices at the Pete and at RGC and at the Rock are just out of control, bro. 10 and 12. 10 and 12 is too much. I'll take a $2 anything. $2 Jello shot. I'm in. Let's do it. Jeff also, of course, this is Matthew Russo's dad. Russo Field did not have a beer can top opener either. Okay. Shout out to PLo there.
Well, they just don't know how to do it yet. I love this. Destiny chimed in and said the Teague did have crawfish nachos, which is worth the trip in my opinion. Kevin Rogers said they also had $7 draft. So
I'm guessing that $2 Natty Light sold out pretty quick.
Or the $2 Natty Light was like a year old.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Like Bradley, $2 is the magic price point. I would have to agree.
Yeah, and if you're on the space and you're listening and you want to say something, just
raise your hand. Is that how it works?
Request, I guess.
We know it works. Well, the good thing is that we know it works. And look, it's hard to call in sometimes, but this is not one of those shows. This isn't a national radio show, You're not sitting on hold for Rome or, Gottlieb or Dan Patrick or anybody. So this is just you pick up the phone, you're just talking to your buddies. I ask you to keep it a little bit civil, little bit clean, or PLo will run your ass. But
That's
other
right.
than that,
I
yeah,
have a quick mute button now.
we can talk about baseball, talk about softball, talk about the football guys that got undrafted free agent opportunities, talk about that Regreen Coliseum renovation. What do we think that's going to look like? Getting back to softball, though, while some of those questions come in. Lost the third game, but I mentioned we could have won it. Could have won all three. We lost another close one, 4-3. Out hit the Lady Bobcats again, 7-4. But three of their 4 hits were homers, so that's never good. Pitching, well, we gave up a homer in the fourth to Vanderford. The solo shot, we gave up a homer to Smith in the fourth, and Randolph homered to right field for another solo and the game winner. So 3 bombs hit by them, and all of them hurt. Kraft went 3 1/3. Lee went 3 2/3. So they took it the distance. Did great, just
Yeah.
one less swing, right?
I think we have another speaker. Jerry, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good evening. How y'all doing tonight?
We are good.
What's happening, Jerry?
This is
Good.
Jerry from Rage and Review, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, Jerry's a great dude.
I saw Josh.
I've seen him on Marchand's show
Thank you.
Yeah.
a few times.
Yes.
Mhm.
I wanted to call in because I saw Josh gave his 2 cents. Great analysis as always by Josh. And I just wanted to call and say, hey, you guys do a great job. Enjoy listening to your episodes. This weekend I had to call in a comment. I had to really compliment the not only the environment at the Teague because it was great. I mean, we had this series circled on the calendar because we knew it would be just an intense series. But also, I have to compliment the Southern Miss fans who traveled and came in. I mean, there were a huge contingent of black and gold in the stands. The fans that we met were great. I got the chance to meet a few of the players after the game briefly, and just a class act as a whole, as an entire fan base, as an entire program. And one thing that we have, the Cajun Nation has to give a shout out to you guys for was how much y'all kind of took in the Cajun culture this week. A lot of Southern Miss fans traveling around town, going downtown. We had our big Festival International. That's kind of like the big
Sure.
festival in town for the year. Many of your fans complimented us on how great of a time they had and just how much they enjoyed their visit down here. And that means the world to us because we love to show off our Cajun culture. We love to show off what we have to offer to people who come in. And you guys just took it in stride and got to meet quite a few of your fans. I saw Marchand there with his wife. We hung out. I saw Destiny was there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet her, but got to meet a few of your fans, and just it was a great interaction and just a great weekend of baseball. Both teams really battled hard. The atmosphere was great, and I'm really, really, really excited that Southern Miss is in the Sun Belt with us now. We've been wanting this rivalry for a long time, and we battle it out on the field, but I really, really enjoy the rivalry with your fan base. It's been a blast, so I had to chime in and say that real quick.
No, I appreciate the kind words, and I feel like we feel the same way about. I mean, don't you, PLo?
Oh,
Never gonna.
absolutely.
I still don't understand this whole hatred of the word Lafayette thing, but other than that, I love everything about Louisiana. Love the city, love the town, love that it's the schools are very similar,
Uh-huh.
and that we can drive there. Right? We
Yeah.
never had that in Conference USA.
And
I love
as
the rivalry that we had with East Carolina all those years, but give me a break. I'm not driving over
we're
there.
not making
right?
that drive.
So it's very cool,
and
Julie.
as a foodie, like you got to respect the city of Lafayette. They know how to do it. I
Great downtown area.
absolutely love anything Cajun food. It is in my blood as somebody who grew up on the Gulf Coast, so I appreciate seafood and good food. So, and I actually saw on Twitter as well that I saw a lot of Southern Miss fans saying that they did not meet a Cajun fan that they didn't. That
Sure.
wasn't just a class act, and so that's what it's about. I mean, we can give it to each other when we win or when the Danny Lynches and all that stuff happens, but obviously we took it on the chin this past weekend, but we definitely appreciate the rivalry.
Well, I do want to say the fans that I did meet in the stadium, I kept telling them just after the game, go downtown. Just go downtown.
Mhm.
It's free. The festival's free. You may have to pay the park, but There was a lot of live music, a lot of great food, and a lot of great people having a blast. And to the point about Danny Lynch, I told Marchant going into last week, he brought up Danny Lynch. I'm like, man, the only thing I'm glad about Danny Lynch is he's in the dugout and he can't come into the batter's box. So I think Kyle DeBarge kind of enforced his revenge on Danny Lynch. I think yesterday I posted on Raging Review Twitter, hey, Danny Lynch meet Kyle DeBarge. But the good news for you guys is that Debo's a junior, but he's most likely going to be a top 3 round draft pick. So he's pretty much, barring a miracle, going after this season. So we'll be back to a net 0 next year when we face each other again.
Yeah.
We might have to find our Danny Lynch or Kyle DeBarge somewhere in each of our rosters. So it'll kind of even out the battlefield a little bit.
Awesome.
Good deal. Yeah, no, he's a great player, man. Yeah, we appreciate you chiming in, Jerry. And I don't know if it was you or who it was feeding PLo all the information on how to get this thing going. Appreciate that too.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
See ya.
All right, very cool. So good to hear from both of those Raging group. And if you guys are ever looking for, that's some great content over there. I'll fire it up from time to time just to see, try to get a gauge on what we're getting ourselves into with a weekend series or a football game coming up or whatnot. Those guys do a fantastic job. And I thought they stopped for a little while and I was a little nervous, but they're back. So they're back. We are blessed at Southern Miss with not having to deal with a lot of the stuff that they have to deal with as far as like interviewing players, getting coaches, being involved in media day, anything like that. It's pretty much open arms over here. Not so in Lafayette. I don't know why, because those guys could really add to they could help, they could help the university out there. But anyway, softball, before we get into the other stuff, hit the softball standings real quick. So Louisiana, of course, is sitting atop the league at 20-1, followed by Texas State, South Alabama, Coastal Carolina, Troy, James Madison, Marshall, Georgia Southern, Louisiana Monroe, Southern Miss, App State, and Georgia State. So, like we said, at least Southern Miss has squeaked into the tournament for the second year in a row. And who knows? We just proved we can hang with a top 25 team.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might be able to eke out a win or two. And who knows? Get hot. Hannah Borden gets up to the bat a few more times, right?
Yep.
And get some stuff done there. Before we close her down, or before we get to the last few tidbits of information that we have, I would like to remind everybody the Mugshots has game day pictures of Miller Lite, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Yingling, and Sam Adams Seasonal. Shareable starters to order for the entire table. Happy hour deals from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. Half off domestic well drinks and domestic draft, and $3 snacks. That's what I'm talking about. And it's been voted the best burger in Mississippi for 16 years in a row. So go check them out.
Yep.
In other sports, do we have another caller?
We do not have another caller. So if you're on the space and you want to say something, request to do that. Let me know. I'm watching it right now. And we did have a good comment here that kind of sparks. And I think we talked about this a little, but I was probably head down. So what does the weekend rotation look like for us in the Coastal Series? Or what do we want it to look like?
Well, see, I don't, Friday and Saturday, I feel like that's interchangeable. Don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I would go to that. If Billy feels more comfortable on the Friday and neither one of them care, I don't care. My whole deal is the Sunday. What in the hell are you going to do there? And I don't know. What do you think, Beer Hose? I would say, okay, if it were me, I would go Oldham Friday, Mazda Saturday, and I would really like to give Chandler best of all on Sunday.
Yeah, I love that.
So that would be
you
my
have like Sibley
guess.
And Allen and those those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ready.
Those are your two first out of the pen.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you need them, probably dependent on a righty or a lefty coming up the bat, or if you're going to start a clean inning, or the guy that can get ready quicker in some situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like both of those guys as first out of the pen, so that's what I would say. In other sports news, okay, so quarterback Billy Wiles has entered the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
I think my guy is going to come visit us out in the Roost this weekend. I told him to come on.
Awesome.
I think he sort of asked, like, "Hey man, is it cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's cool. It's absolutely cool. Come on
Yeah,
out."
it is.
So I think Billy's going to come out there. But Billy is headed to App State, so we are not done seeing Billy Wiles. He would just be in a different The Rock and a different black and gold.
Still black and gold.
Yeah.
Nike uniforms.
Right.
Yeah, a different Rock that was named the Rock many years after ours. For the record. What up, Jamie?
Massive J in the house.
Yep.
Oh, what a talented dude.
And he says, "Peace out, Billy."
Perfect answer.
What a
So-
sweet profile pic that is.
The latest, the last time that I saw Massive J, we were at Hubfest
Yep.
walking around. Did you see him? Did you go to Hubfest?
Let's see. We have a speaker. I did not. No.
He was at the corner of like Main Street and Front Street with a sign that said "Free Hugs." And was
Oh,
just
cool.
hugging it up.
I love that.
Everybody coming up. It was a great. It was really cool. I gave him a hug. It was awesome. There's a speaker.
Yeah,
caller?
we're connecting. Okay. Go ahead, Lana.
How are you?
Hi, what's up?
Yeah, bro. I'm just here almost 3 days. We don't eat food, me and my younger brothers, bro.
Very good. What'd you think about the game this weekend?
Yeah, bro. This weekend, bro, almost 3 days. We don't have food here, bro. To find food where we are, bro.
Okay. Yeah, that's not really sure what that is. But yeah. Anyway, man, we're learning. This live thing is fun.
Food situation. Anyway, I guess he wasn't talking about the baseball game, or if he was, it wasn't a lack of eating that Mr. DeBarge was doing, right?
Yeah.
Like I liked everything he saw. In other football news, no players were drafted, but did have a few guys to get a shot. The undrafted free agent route, which a lot of times is you get in a better situation that way. Instead of getting drafted really late on a whim by somebody, it's actually sort of picking where you want to go and the best fit for you. So the list goes like this. So Frank Gore Jr. signed with the Buffalo Bills. Swayze Bozeman gets a shot with the Kansas City Chiefs. Bryson Mays goes to San Francisco, and Latrell Frog Jones to Tampa Bay. So, fingers crossed that all of those guys make teams and get a shot at the league, get a shot at their dream. So that's very good. Also like to remind everybody that football season ticket renewals are going on right now. I think you can still get in on like that 4-month payment plan thing, which I have not done yet. So you might have to talk your way into it a little bit, but call Tyler Cochran or anybody over at the ticket office and they can get you set up on that.
I think we do have a caller that I am familiar with, Mustard Buzzard. You should be live.
Y'all will have to eventually learn how to say my name fluidly.
It's not easy.
It's not.
I start it every time and I just get tongue-tied.
Say it with your chest. Anyway, I like asking big dreamer questions, and I ask Buzzard Drew this. So you get an infinite amount of money to build something that kind of intertwines USM with the general cityscape, like a decorative monument almost. Where would you want to place it, and what would you want? For me personally, I would like to redo the sign that you enter into Hattiesburg, where it's just like a metal bridge, and it just has our logo painted on there. Mm-hmm. But, I wanted to give you all a little bit of a different question.
Well, I'll tell you this. When I first got to Southern Miss, there wasn't the metal bridge thing. There wasn't even
cars.
It was a little wrought iron just stand up like 4 foot wide sign. There wasn't even that brick thing at the beginning, at the entrance of campus, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we have made improvements on that. But yeah, I mean, you can always do more.
I mean, campus. campus in the time since I've started school since 2015 has gotten immensely nicer. So I mean, I'm not even like saying that. I just, I like to dream.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to answer your question as in I'm going to build a giant building somewhere visible from 49 that's going to be the new Reed Green Coliseum, and it's going to have a sign that just says Hattiesburg on the side or welcome to Hattiesburg, but it's also multi-purpose if money is not an option. We're gonna double that answer with a sign and a building, because I would love to have a true multi-purpose building, concerts, all that stuff like we used to have.
I do think that it is. I think the best thing that happened for a while was when Toby got elected, and there was this connection back to the university again, which was missing for quite a while. Not to get all political, it just is what it is.
He is goated,
right? So I do see where Massive J. I don't know if you saw that or not, PLo, but Massive J chimed in with a giant swan.
I love that.
It's great.
Let's build a giant statue of Toby, North Korean scale.
I'm down.
So, but here's what I would like to see, and I like to thank you for calling in and for asking that. But I would eventually like to see Midtown and downtown, more closely connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's still a lot of people that go to Southern Miss every single day that have never stepped foot downtown, right? I did it for a little while I was a student, and now we strictly go downtown. That's all we do. So if there's a way to, and I think there is a beautification effort going on. I think Councilman Jeffrey George is kind of spearheading that. And even if, let's just say there's a bunch of old buildings downtown. How about some of those are bought out by Southern Miss, right? All of a sudden, like you're an art student, you have an art class downtown. Just anything like that to kind of bridge the two, I think would be great. But anything to promote Southern Miss and to promote specifically Midtown and downtown Hattiesburg, I'm 1,000% for.
Awesome.
I fully agree. Thanks for taking my question, fellas.
No doubt.
Thank you. Okay, so Crazy Eagle has chimed in. Anything on Wednesday press conference? You want to talk about people that have been tight-lipped about this whole thing? It's getting to the point. I don't know that I can be overwhelmed or underwhelmed either way, like with what comes out on because
we should give our athletic department.
I've built it up in my head so much that I'm wanting them to say like it's going to hover off the ground, be seen from space. Right.
Yeah. We should give our athletic department like government secrets, because they would never get leaked. Just
that's true.
I mean, it's insane, like how close everything is held until it's released. I mean, bravo.
Yeah. But I'll also say that everything that Jeremy does, he doesn't do it if you can't do it right.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we're all good. The only thing that I've been told is that you aren't going to recognize it and you're going to love it.
Yep.
So I've heard blurbs of, ribbons going all the way around. I don't think the center hung scoreboard is going to happen.
No.
But I do know the new roof. I do know the infrastructure for the bands and all the concerts and all that.
Yeah, the loading dock needs.
And I do know the entirely new concourse. I haven't heard if we're actually lowering the court and going to bring those seats even closer. Because right now, if you sit mid-court, you're forever. Our seats are way closer, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're forever away. So if you drop the court, you can bring that on down. I don't know. I mean, it's $43 million or 30-something earmarked just for Reed Green, and I think 13 for the practice facility. But you got to spend that money somewhere. A lot of it is going to the roof and is going to the infrastructure. But after that, I would expect the front door to actually be there.
And that also encompasses a ticket office, right? And so,
we're brand new bathrooms, brand new concessions
of the trailer out front.
I would worry about them going up on beer prices, but I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation we need to have. I would, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I think things need to change with our concessions provider if we take it back in house. from what I heard, the guy I don't want to disrespect the guy, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The guy that came, not, oh my gosh, the two new guys in, not Sean Jones, the other guy in the athletic department. Gosh, what is his name? Anyway, it came from App State. I know that was one thing that they did while he was there was kind of get away from a third party concessions, bring it back in house, allow some of these downtown people and food trucks and different things to get on campus, which I know they're out in Spirit Park, but to integrate them into concessions to have specialized things that are Hattiesburg special for concessions and stuff like that. And I would love to see better pricing.
No doubt. Get us caught up in comments and we'll hit on some basketball and get out of here.
Yeah. So Massive Jamie said the old Hattiesburg High was supposed to be part of USM, was burned in a fire and everything changed. Interesting. I did not know that.
Now it's a old folks home, I think.
I have
kind
no
of sort
idea.
Of. Yeah. Anyway. King of Hardy Street, Lafayette put our downtown to shame. Gotta get that thing. Yeah, well, Lafayette also has like 3 times as many people, right? So, but our downtown is nice, and I did a pub crawl this past weekend, and there's we have 9 stops that we make, and it said you're not stopping at like a bodega or anything, right? 9 legitimate, and you could do some other ones. There's just a little bit more walking involved, but there's 9 legitimate on the same route that you can stop at. It's not hard to do. It takes a few hours, and there's 9 different places where you're getting the drink. So pace yourself, but it can be done. We've done it 3 times now this year. Super fun. But yes, that downtown Lafayette's awesome. It's great. It's one of my favorite places to go. Very cool. Assisted living. Okay, got you. Well, if you need to know anything about downtown Hattiesburg, Massive J is a solid source. I'm a good source. I'm not a Massive J type of good source.
Yeah, I'll be down there tomorrow. I usually see him. I'm like bouncing around Grin or the Depot or Grateful Soul or something like that. I usually see him always down there.
Yeah, we'll give that dude a hug from me. And let's talk about basketball real quick. So DeAndre Pinckney, our guy, he did an interview with us where he had to get up at like 3 a.m. in Denmark, and he didn't mind doing that at all. So shout out to him for that. And his team won the championship in the European North Basketball League he plays in. He was named the Finals MVP, the Player of the Year, and the Forward of the Year. So he really showed out. He also made the first team All-European North Basketball League. So how about you got that applause button? Ready to rock?
I do.
Gotta hit the post there, PLo.
I know.
Basketball also had some signings this week. Christian Watson, a 6'7" forward, signed with Southern Miss. So we had 5 guys come. We had 5 big recruits. We're talking to Ladner about it. We had 5 big recruits come this past weekend. He told me that he really wished that we had a baseball weekend. Like if we'd had Louisiana here this weekend. Because you remember when Hase and Nefty and Juan all came out to the Roost for that game. I'm not going to say I'm like the best recruiter in the world, but Hase came out there and we signed him. So, anyway, it was either me or his Coop's chicken. Either way. And maybe it was neither because he didn't have any of that going for him this weekend. Ladner didn't, and he still signed these guys. So we signed Christian Watson, 6'7" forward, Alfred Worrell. Oh, sorry. Alfred Worrell, 6'3" guard. I waited on that one. Denaje Harris. Yes, gosh, Denaje Harris. So he was at Southern Miss. He left and went to Arkansas, realized the error in his ways. He started for us, right? Real presence down low. And just a good one of those swingmen, right? And he has that little running floater hook thing that he does. And he can really rebound the ball. So it's nice to see him coming back. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I saw some chatter on Twitter that not everybody feels the same way, which that's cool, but I don't think he didn't burn any bridges when he left here. He's coming back. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
D'Antoni Gordon, 6'8", player from Wichita State and Arkansas Little Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Or something. Okay. And John Wade out of UC Santa Barbara. All players who will be joining the Golden Eagles in playing in Reed Green Coliseum, and who knows? We'll find out Wednesday when that renovation is actually going to get going on. And that's about all I have, PLo, unless you have anything on golf or if there's anybody else hanging on the line. I don't know. We can go ahead and get to that. But the golf team
Yeah.
did play in the Sun Belt Championship at Annandale. I think they had kind of a bad day, kind of a good day, and then not so good of a day.
Yeah, I know Robbie Ladder was named third team All Sun Belt Conference. So that's obviously voted on by all the schools. He finished his Golden Eagle career with a stroke average of 72.5, included 14 rounds of par or below on his 32 circuits this season. So, yeah.
Very
Congrats to
good.
him.
We got any shout outs?
Let's see. Do I have any shout
Like
outs?
all the Region River guys for
to
getting us online.
Yes, that dude, they literally saved my life. They I'm sure they could be like, what is this guy doing? I did want to give a shout out to tonight was the Talon Awards, and that is like an internal Southern Miss Athletics kind of award show that they do, and I want to give a shout out to those folks that won awards, and I'm going to pull that up real quick because everything was kind of tweeted out. So let's see. The first award was to Sarah Parnell. She was the female scholar athlete. I do not know what Sarah plays. That's bad. I think track and field, maybe. Ooh, I don't know. Anyway, next, crash and burn. Next up, the male scholar athlete award goes to Matt Adams, baseball. Congrats on that. The highest team GPA goes to women's golf with a 3.7 team GPA. Second place was and third place beach volleyball. The highest GPA for a team for the men's side was men's tennis. Second place baseball, and third place men's track and field. Your female top student athlete of the year was JC Fields of women's golf. Your top student athlete on the male side was Cross Sibley. The Golden Eagle Award, which is given to, I think, a staff member, was given to Michael Cullen, who coaches volleyball, I believe. The freshman impact player on the women's side was Morgan Sieper. Congrats to her.
Very good.
The Community Service Award goes to indoor volleyball. They served 1,154 total hours of community service, so that's pretty impressive. Second was baseball, third football, and fourth softball. The Female Grit Award goes to Dom Davis. No surprise there if you watched her play. And I love this. The Male Grit Award went to Avery Hobbs. And the team of the year goes to the Southern Miss baseball team, obviously with the Sun Belt Championship and the regional winner. And the male newcomer of the year was Victor Awaku.
Very good. Nito Mosquito. A few shout outs for me. I ran into Will Armistead today.
Yeah.
So I'm at the haircut place anyway. He's a good dude. Probably done playing. He's got that UCL thing going on. He's getting. I think he told me that if he comes back, it would be like age 25. So before he can actually throw the ball again. So he's probably done. Yeah, but look, he's going to do great. There's very few that get to go do anything past senior college, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll always. I like watching him play, and hate that it's kind of going down this way, but he'll come out on top. Wanted to give a shout out to you guys, right? Lisa, PLo, and the whole Lowry family. Had some situations that you had to go deal with this weekend, and glad to see you made it back.
Yeah.
And everybody's
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
Last
So yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know if you want to do that, but anyway.
Well, no, I mean, people are gonna be like, "What's happened?" But no, we just had a funeral to go to.
Mhm.
Somebody on my wife's side of the family, and yeah, that's no fun. But I appreciate all the kind words and text messages and thoughts we've had this week. So appreciate that.
Sure. And on the way out the door, Alicia O'Brien, right? Her, the
Yeah.
DOB, Rowan and Charlie. I'm gonna miss them a lot. We had the pub crawl this weekend. It was kind of her going away party, and
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
gonna be leaving in about a month. So anyway, good people, and hate
For
it's
sure.
going down this way, but
Mhm.
is what it is. And that's about it. That's all that I have, man. This episode was brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar. They're always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily, and for a limited time, they're bringing back some of their oldies but goodies. So go check them out soon. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. And let's see. You know what? A couple more updates real quick before we get out the door. Massive J said Grits and Greens are playing at the Fat Cat Thursday night. Another place. We didn't even include that one in our trek. So that could be 10. And he also says that he wants to get some USM, some lights at the tennis court and the soccer and track facilities. Couldn't agree more. Those are going to have to come after basketball, though. Anyway,
Yep.
Thanks for listening today, whatever day you might have listened and whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J. Bailey and Patrick at P. Lowry. Follow us on all the social at To The Top Talk. And don't forget about the mailbag, to the top talk at gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss.
To the top.
Talk.
Why you mad?
I could play for Alabama, USC, or Notre Dame.